This is the foundation inspection. We're currently at the front portico. We're now standing at the right elevation. We're now at the right elevation of the house. And we have a hairline crack in the foundation here. Now we can't see the foundation here because of the flat work. And there's sheet ice and there's a swimming pool, so I've got to move very, very carefully. Now, these trees are up close against the walls and the foundation. They should be cut back hard because they allow insects and vermin to get access to the building very easily, and they withdraw a lot of moisture from the ground at the foundation, which can cause problems with the foundation. Now, because of these bushes, I cannot get a close view of the foundation at this elevation. This is the pool at the This is the inspection of the foundation at the left elevation. We have a corner pop here. They're nothing to worry about, common with all foundations, and you shouldn't be too concerned about them. Now at the left elevation there's some post-tension cable ends showing. Here's one, but there are a number of them and they need to be covered up. It's called parging, and that seals them and stops them rusting out. We're looking at the flue on the left end elevation of the roof and the condition of it. That flue is for a furnace. Up above it is the chimney, and the chimney siding is showing deterioration. That needs to be addressed quite quickly because left as it is at the moment, it's going to lead to the wood rotting and then a leak into the attic space. This is the other chimney. Again, we're at the left elevation, and there's a little bit of deterioration in the siding there. Again, that needs to be addressed. It is easy to leave these things, but what actually happens is the the water gets through into the wood, it rots it at the corners, and then it gets into the chimney, and you have a slow leak over quite a few years. You won't even notice it. It will do quite a lot of damage. There's a skylight here. We need to have a look at the back of that skylight. Yellow Hat Inspections, Mark speaking. We're now inspecting the roof at the left hand elevation. There's some unevenness in the roof itself. It's not uncommon with roofs of this age. The joists, the rafters often move, and so do the decking, and that can give rise to a little bit of ridging. That doesn't necessarily mean there's a problem with it. It's just that it's quite common to happen. If you're at all concerned about the roof because of that ridging, the best person to get to look at it would be a roofer, because they would be able to tell you exactly what it costs to fix it if there was a repair problem. I can't do that for you, see. Don't have that sort of information. Okay, let's go and look at the front elevation. So far the roof is looking okay, apart from that little bit of ridging there. We're at the front elevation. We can't see that valley because it's covered in snow, and you can still see the chimney. I mentioned the chimney earlier in the video, and that needs to be painted. Let's go to the far right. Now you've got trees here, and you've got to make sure they don't grow on and touch the roof, because that'll take a roof out in next to no time. Okay, ventilation is via soffit vents. We have soffit vents at the front elevation here. Well, that's good. A soffit vent over the porch, soffit vent there at the gable end, all good. Soffit vents running down here, soffits at this time looking in good condition. Now there are no gutters on the left and right elevation. You should consider putting gutters up. They do protect the building. They reduce the amount of water runoff that goes onto the ground at the foundation, and in Texas with the active soils which expand and contract with water, That's important. There's a little bit of movement in the trim here, but that's just seasonal. And then we've got the soffits on the rear elevation, and we have gutters on the rear elevation. That is good. Add gutters to those other areas would be great. And soffit vents here. Then we have ventilators on the roof itself. You see up there the ventilators. And we've got some skylights, and also you could see there's a dip in the roof here and here. We'll have to see when we get into the attic what's going on up there. But again, as I mentioned earlier with the other side of the roof, it's not unusual to find the decking uneven. Yeah, there's definitely got a dip down here. So we're now moving to looking at the soffit vents around here. Yeah, soffit vents and exhaust ports on the roof for ventilation. That's all good. Again, no gutters. You really should have those added. We're now standing at the left elevation. We're doing the walls and window inspection. So we're looking at the walls and the windows for signs of movement in the structure. Well, when structures move, the foundation moves, the areas affected are walls. That's where it shows up, and we have here a classical differential crack. It's caused by differential movement. I call it a differential crack, but it's not a differential crack, it's a crack, and it's running at approximately 45 degrees down from the window corner to the foundation. And what is actually happening is the foundation either side of that crack is moving in different directions. We have another crack here which has just started to run. That's quite new. So continuing our wall inspection and our windows. Around the house, I've noticed already, because I've been around the house a couple of times already, you'll find that there's caulking problems. Caulking doesn't last long in Texas because of the heat, and you could see here we've got a damaged caulking. There's damage to these three windows here. Can you see here where the trim work is coming out? Coming out here and here, and there's more damage here and here. All of that needs to be repaired, because if you don't repair it, it's going to lead to deterioration in the windows, and these are expensive windows because they're stained glass and leaded. Again, caulking issues. Back to looking at the walls. Well, these windows have been recorked here. Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't allow bushes to grow up over your windows. They really should be cut back. It's not a good idea. Now we have siding here. Well, siding's very important, especially with this wood siding. I don't know what type of wood it is, but we've got paint coming off of it, and that really needs to be treated because it will deteriorate quite quickly. It looks okay at the moment, it doesn't seem to have any rust. For this side of the garage, okay, now we're moving to the rear elevation behind the garage. Again, we're looking for cracks. Now we're at the right elevation of the property. Now you've got damage to the caulking and damage to the window frame at the right elevation. Okay, we have a crack running down here. Again, it's running right to the foundation, and that's due to settlement. There's no telling how long the crack's been there. It could be here for years. But this is an area where we found a crack in the foundation a little bit earlier. Yeah, there's the crack in the foundation there. And now we've got, there's no apparent cracks there. Cracks can appear at any time. Because of the soils and the way they move, if you don't keep the soils with an even moisture content, you're going to run into structural problems in time with the wall system and the frame and everything. Now we're at the front elevation. Let's see if we can find some cracks. Yeah, there's a crack running down there, and again this window, you see this window? That's got poor caulking. It's going to be leaking water. That's pretty important because that area there on the window ledge is where the water's going to hit. Now I have a lintel here, it's a steel lintel, and we should have weep holes over the top of it, and we're missing them. Now we're at the front left elevation. Small hairline cracks at the top there. This is the attic. We've got a purling running around the garage attic all the way around, and it's missing supporting struts. They should be every 4 to 5 feet, and we have none at all. There's one here. There's another one there. Well, it should be spaced every 5, maybe 6 foot. A purling support strut. I'm in the attic over the guest bathroom, and in this area here there's signs of water penetration running down there. There's a a skylight there. That skylight may be leaking. There's also evidence of water penetration over the other side here. Now when I was on the outside I spoke about my concern about the decking. It's as the building was built, nobody's been in here and taken stuff out, but I think this whole roof could do with some reinforcement. I'm going to recommend you get a roofer in here. You see on this side here we have a purling. It's running the complete length of the roof. That stops it spreading and stops it undulating, and this side we haven't got that. It's missing. And there is a purling there, but it's this whole area up here that is to some extent unsupported. But you really need the opinion of a roofing expert to tell you what should be there. You'll need to talk to either a structural engineer or a roofing expert. We have collar ties up here. This is the chimney, and at the front of the chimney on the supports there we've got signs of water penetration. There's movement in this roof, and having been up in the attic I see why. Missing purlins running along the top where I think it needs support. I recommend you get a roofer, give it an inspection, give you an expert advice on whether the roof needs the reinforcement. It seems to be a little weak in places up there, but as I say, get an expert in to tell you what needs to be done to make it strong enough to withstand the very poor weather that we're getting. This is the ceiling, wall and floor inspection, the internals. We're in the kitchen at the present time, and running down here is a crack which indicates movement in the roof. We also have some cracks in these areas here. That's just pretty common settlement, but this has been occurring a number of times over the years. You can see how here discoloration in the paint is due to the fact that it's been covered over and sealed several times. The other thing we're interested in is we've got cracks in the floor. This is an extension that's been built inside the garage. It's not a very wise thing to do. The other side here is a garage, and the whole purpose of a garage is to keep flammable, dangerous items away from the house itself. And so now what you have here is you have an opening, a wall. You can walk through to it. But the other side, it's possible, there's room to get a car in. And a car, of course, has got fumes, has got petrol, and there's no way of stopping a fire spreading from that area there, or fumes coming in here into the house. I wouldn't use that garage at all until this wall is closed up. It's got to be closed up. That's a garage, it is not part of the building, and I recommend that's removed completely. Here we've got a garage door, and the door's incorrect. This is just a standard door. It's not a fire door. And just to make my point, come out here, you can see we've got gas bottles here, all flammable. We've got an area here where you can bring a car in, more than enough room to park a car. This is quite a dangerous addition. And we haven't got to the wiring yet. We'll be getting to that later. The master bedroom, and you can see we've got a sheetrock crack here. That's due to common settlement. At the apex of the ceiling in the family room, you can see there's cracks running in this area here. And we've got cracks running there. It just shows there's a bit of movement up there. This is a cathedral ceiling. Actually, it's not part of the roof, it's built in, but there is movement. And on the inside here, there's a crack running down the sheetrock in that area there. There's no evidence of a grounding rod at the meter, and there should be. Let's look inside the panel and see what we can find in there. This is the main panel. You see there's wire nuts in here and pigtails. That indicates additional circuits have been put in since it was built. Also, there is no room in this panel for expansion. It's actually at its limit. Okay, well, there is a ground here. The ground goes out there, but there's no grounding bar apparent in the front of the beneath the meter. So I recommend that you have a licensed electrician test the grounding system to ensure you've got a functioning grounding system. As it is at the moment, I can't test that. Got no means of doing it, but it's very important you have a ground. This is a new compressor that's been fitted to the air conditioning system. You can see on the circuit here we should have 25 amps, and it's a 50 amp breaker is fitted. That's twice as much breaker size as you have. That breaker's got to be reduced down to 25. It mustn't exceed the manufacturer's recommendation. So we've got two breakers here, one is 30 and one's 50. The 50 amp breaker serves the air conditioning compressor at the left hand elevation, and 50 amps is twice the requirement. It should only be 25. This is an overloaded circuit. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible connections through one outlet, and that's bad. Shouldn't have that. It's a timer for the pool, I guess. Very badly installed. It's garage outlet. Should be GFCI. You can see it's not. It's also loose in the wall. This is a timer to the hydrotherapy bath, and because of it I'm not going to be testing the bath, and I'll tell you why. It says on the top here, do not touch when wet. Well, that tells you a lot, doesn't it? I can't tell whether or not this has a GFCI on it. There's a GFCI down there, but I'm certainly not going to start up the tub then turn it on only to find it's live. This has got to be changed out, got to be checked by an electrician. You can't use the tub. This is wrong. This is the AC unit over the guest bedrooms. The unit itself is actually laying directly on the roof joists themselves, or the flooring, and as such really it's wrong. It should actually be suspended from the attic rafters. With the way it's installed here, noise from this unit will be transmitted through vibration into the house. The filter is locked by a screw, so I can't unscrew it because I'm not allowed to unscrew anything. What we've got is a relatively new installation. There is no debris in the safety pan, but there's no way of checking the actual condition of the exchanger. I would highly recommend you ask for receipts and details of when this unit was repaired or replaced. It's quite recent because we know the compressor on the outside has been fitted. It's relatively new, and they should have the documentation from the people who installed it for them to give to you. Over the garage, again, it looks like it's been recently replaced. It's currently running. There's a bit of insulation seal break there. We might be able to look at the filter. We'll have a look in a second. This is the condensing coils. There's no way I can tell whether or not those condensing coils have been replaced. It certainly seems as if they've done some work here. I'd highly recommend that you get details from the current owners as to what was done. there's little or nothing I can do to help you here in terms of telling you it's going to give you a good few years service. I mean, this is a brand new unit. I can see that it's installed correctly, which is good, but it does really need to have receipts for it, because they have done some work on it and it looks comparatively recent. On the actual attic floor, we've got a lot of Romex cables running across the floor that's unprotected. They at some point are going to break. They need to be boxed in and protected. As it is presently, anybody could step on them, and you never know what's going to happen with electrical cables. Functional flow test. The bath is tub is filling, and we've got good flow here, and we've got good flow in the. This is the water heater. It's good installation. Looks like it's new. Temperature pressure relief valve here. You can release that. And that should come out here. It may be. Oh yeah, here it comes. That's good. Hood's in place. It's good. Signs of water penetration above it, and there may have been a problem above there in the attic sometime in the past. This is the workshop. Well, it's mounted on beams. There's a wall mounted compressor and conditioner. And there's its own power supply, and there's a grounding rod, which is good. Let's go inside. Pool equipment. It's currently running. What we're doing is we're examining the condition of the pipes and the pumps. Now this pump here has a major leak in it. That's going to cause it to cavitate, and it may also damage it further because of the ice. You can see how ice has formed on it here as it's been leaking. It's quite a major leak. It's been leaking for a long while by the look of it. It's all been covered to protect it in the winter, and there's another leak this side of the pump. Quite a major leak. I'm not going to touch the equipment because of the condition of the pump here. I recommend, having found that you get a pool company come and inspect this fully and test it to ensure that it is actually working properly. Certainly with a leak that it has at the moment, that suggests to me total lack of maintenance of this unit, and they can be expensive to repair. So before you actually go and buy the house with the pool, I highly recommend that you get a quote for the renovation of the pumping equipment of the pool itself.